Marcellus, should the Cowboys consider moving on from Dak?
Unfortunately, if this is true, yeah, it's time to start looking elsewhere. I had teammates when someone got a little too rich with their taste, they used to say, oh, you trying to play Gucci. And you got to be careful if you're Dak Prescott right now, because right there behind you on that roster, they got a nice Gucci knockoff. His name is Andy Dalton. And it's funny, when I first got drafted to Buffalo, my teammate Derek Holmes used to shop at Walmart for all his clothes and all this stuff. And I was like, why you at Walmart, man? You in the NFL, you got all this money. He was like, because of who I am, people gonna always think it's real or think it's expensive. And he just got away with that. And it's funny, whoever's quarterback in this roster, this Dallas Cowboys team of 2020 is gonna look good, gonna look real, gonna look nice, because they have a squad. Be careful, Dak. You're starting to price yourself out of a position.
I don't think it's time for them to prioritize moving on from Dak Prescott yet. I think you got to understand possibly what the offers are here. If you're talking about he was offered roughly $175 million over 5 years, guys, it comes down to guarantees. Because to sit there and put out there in the media that this makes him the highest paid quarterback is very misleading. Why? Because you and I both know, Mr. Marcellus, if you say 175 without saying that very magical word at the end, guaranteed, you don't know what you're making, right? It could be $35 million a year. If he's guaranteed 35 the whole way, take it. If he's denying guaranteed for 6 years, then yeah, you got to think about it. But if that money is not guaranteed and you're talking about backloading the contract and they take it away from you in year 2 or 3 because they cut you, it's no good. I think let's get more details before we talk about moving on from him.
Look, I think that this is part of the attack on Dak Prescott from Jerry Jones and Stephen Jones that I've been saying has been coming and coming. Chris Sims is not a reporter. When there's real news coming out of the Cowboys, it's Jane Slater, it's Ian Rappaport, it's Adam Schefter, it's Ed Werder, it's Clarence Hill. It's the guys that cover it day to day. Chris Sims, not knocking him, former quarterback on NBC Sports. Somebody, to me, is probably sliding him information because they want it out there. The number that I think threw everybody off is this desire for, allegedly, according to Sims, he wants $45 million a year at the end of this deal. That's what I think Cowherd and other people are reacting to, and that I'm reacting to. I've always felt Dak's eyes are bigger than his stomach. He's not a guy that truly moves the needle. He's got to play that role. I think his record last year against playoff teams was 1-6 in his alleged, career year. I just don't think his career year warrants Dak approaching Russell Wilson or any of these elite quarterback level. Dak is a $25 to $28 million a year quarterback, and I know the market says Jimmy Garoppolo, blah, 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 but that's who Dak is. His eyes are bigger than his stomach. Play Andy Dalton. I agree with Cowherd.
Look, you don't have to be a reporter to break some real news. I found out that when I broke the Jim Harbaugh news about him going to Michigan, it was just my homeboy who saw the contract send me a text. He was like, look, I know where he's going. All of a sudden the world came. Marcellus doesn't know anything. Yeah, I did. I knew it before all y'all did. I don't know what channels y'all were going on, but sometimes it comes from places you don't expect. And to your point of $45 million, even that number, which sounds absurd right now, let's rewind time. 2 years ago, when Jimmy G was the highest paid quarterback after only 7 starts, and he was making $27 million. Now we're already at $35 million with Russell Wilson, and that's in 2 years. So now you're saying a 5-year deal, and in 2 years they jump up $8 million. So let's say 2 more years they go up 8. 2 more years you go up 16, and then you still got 4 more, $20 million. Potentially, if Patrick Mahomes is still doing him. $55 million might be the quarterback number using the numbers of the past as precedent. If I'm Dak Prescott, if I'm CAA, I'm sitting there like, we could be looking at a ceiling of 55, and you want me to sign on the dotted line right now at 45? That's the only argument I can hear from their side.
And that's why I just say, I end my argument by saying, guarantee the 5-year contract at $175 million, and you got a deal. That's $35 million a year. If you got a problem with getting $35 million a year guaranteed to you because that's off pace with the current market, then you got to consider moving on.
Listen, Dak's an average quarterback who should be thankful if he makes $30 million a year.
Oh,
anything
man.
above that, somebody needs to be fired.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. And be sure to check out more of the best clips from Speak For Yourself or go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.